All right, guys. Practice two. Look, I felt like we had some pretty good energy out there today. We moved around pretty fast. Again, we're kind of still in our basic install stuff, so nothing too fancy, but overall pleased with the practice.
Dennis, have you seen enough in the first 2 days of Peyton Turner to see some growth in these 2 days?
Have I seen enough from Peyton Turner? The answer is no. You know what I mean? We're second practice. Again, I think I said this yesterday. Look, I like where the kid's at. You know, I think he's got talent. I'm excited about him developing, and we'll kind of keep it at that for right now.
Dennis, when you obviously talked to Taysom Hill about a different role, I'm sure that happened early in the offseason. How did that conversation go? Did he accept it? Was he okay with it? Did he understand?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think Taysom's one of those team players that's willing to do anything that the team needs him to do to win. And so yeah, we had a conversation, and I think ultimately, I think Taysom likes playing the quarterback position. That's what he's played all his life. But sometimes you have to be unselfish for the team, and he's been outstanding in terms of that, and he'll do anything that we ask him to do in terms of helping the team win.
When you run that quarterback, the short yardage quarterback package for him, how good is he at that? What does he do well in running that package?
Yeah, he's outstanding. He's a tough physical runner. So a lot of times we're doing that in some short yardage and goal line type situations, and he's a hard guy to stop for a yard or less. And then obviously if there's a seam, he's able to take it the distance. So I think that's a skill set that he has, that he does a really good job at, and be something that we'll continue to want to utilize.
So Dennis, you feel like with Taysom, if you ask him to do any position on the football team, he'll be able to do it? Like in a position?
Well, I don't know that I'm lining him up at nose tackle, but I think, if there's something that we feel like he can help us do to win, I think he's the ultimate team player in that regard.
How is he grown as a route runner? Just get downfield running routes.
I think he does a good job. I think, the interesting thing is that he's played the quarterback position, and when you play the quarterback position, you kind of have an overall knowledge of how everything's supposed to operate and how everything's supposed to look. So I think that gives him an advantage in that way.
Dennis, what are some things you've seen from Paulson and Diego from year one to year two? And talk about some of the lessons.
Look, I mean, again, we're early in the process, but I know he's matured in terms of just understanding what we're doing defensively, and I think that's probably where I've seen the biggest growth, is just a full understanding from a mental standpoint exactly what we're doing and how we're doing it.
Dennis, when a young player like Peyton Turner has spent like as much time rehabbing as he did this offseason, what do you want to kind of see from him in order for him to grow during that period? What are kind of some of the benchmarks?
Well, look, it's hard to set a ton of benchmarks. I know where he's at right now, and I want to see him just get a little bit better every day. There's some fundamentals, some technique, some effort. So it's everything, and he's not unlike a lot of young players. So I don't really try to set a bunch of all right, by this time we want to reach this benchmark, and by this time we want to reach this benchmark. I want guys to come in here every day, put their head down, go to work, and then if you do that, we'll reach our full potential, and that's really all we're trying to do.
Dennis, will you or Mickey ever put a clause in a contract for a quarterback or a player that you have to study X amount of hours?
Well, I'll never say never, but I don't anticipate that. That's not been a discussion that we've had.
How much are you looking forward to the fans coming on?
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, that's football. I mean, that's the way the game's played. So, there's a lot to be said about guys running around out here in underwear, but this game's played with the pads on, so that's really where guys will begin to start to define themselves a little bit.
Especially with Penning, coach, a guy like that at a position like that?
Yeah, well, I think with everybody, really. You know what I mean? And so, right now we're seeing a lot of how are they mentally? Are they giving us the effort that we need? What's their athletic skill set look like? And then you put the pads on and you find out what their football mentality is.
What are your thoughts on Demario Davis and Kirk Merritt so far in training camp?
Again, it's early to have a bunch of evaluations, you know what I mean? But I think you guys know how I feel about Demario. I mean, Demario's been outstanding for us, continues to be outstanding for us. He's a great leader, great player. Glad he's on our team, you know. And then obviously Kirk Merritt's a guy that's trying to prove himself a little bit. I thought he made some strides in the spring, you know, and he's out here working now, and we'll just kind of evaluate it as it goes along.
Yeah, Alan, would you say, when you look across the NFL, maybe like a base defense, 4-3 or 3-4, that it's more, when you look at all the teams, more like a 2 linebacker set as a primary defense with 5 DBs?
Well, yeah, I think the way that the offenses line up these days kind of dictates, you know, what you're doing defensively, and we're seeing a lot more sub-personnel grouping, so you're seeing a lot more nickel groups on the field, 5 DBs, 2 linebackers. I mean, obviously it's no surprise that's really what we've, you know, kind of worked towards. And really, I think at the end of the day, it's all about trying to get your best players on the field, and then finding ways to put them in positions to have success. So yeah, I am seeing a lot more of that, and I think as offenses continue to spread you out, you probably will see more.
Yeah, from a defensive perspective, when you're going against a team with like a good, quick passing game, how does that stress out a defense?
Well, it just means you have to match up faster, you know, and so that part of having the corners that we have to be able to get up and press man, you know, and be kind of body on body and man on man in those situations, it obviously makes the offense have to execute a little bit crisper rather than playing, you know, a soft zone and they've got some open areas underneath. And so that's probably a little bit of why we kind of play the way we do a little bit.
How have you felt, Chris Richard and Ryan Nielsen? How have you felt about them?
Outstanding.
Defensive coordinator?
Outstanding. Done a hell of a job so far. Got nothing but great things to say about what those guys are doing. All good?
All good.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.